Greetings from the Corporate Interface Cell and a very warm welcome to Business Edge 5.0, 6 Industries, 1 Podcast, presented by Park Avenue. The Corporate Interface Cell is the official business club of NMIMS ASM SOC and is dedicated towards bridging the gap between the student body and the corporate world. This is a podcast where we explore the ever-evolving landscape of industry leaders. Today I, Dishita Mittal, bring to you an episode on the rapidly advancing industry, the real estate industry. It is our great privilege to welcome our distinguished guest, Mr. CA Prafulla Chhajed, a director at Oberoi Realty Limited. With over 25 years of rich experience, Mr. Chhajed has had experience in both the field of finance and accounting, having served as the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and a member of CPA Australia. At present, he is elected as the president of the Confederation of Asian and Pacific Accountants. He is also a director at the State Bank of India, chairman of Multi-Commodity Exchange Clearing Corporation Limited, and other listed companies. He's held various positions both at national and international level, such as member of IRDA and a member of Primary Markets Committee of SEBI, etc. He's been instrumental in driving key reforms and promoting professional ethics within the accounting profession, while simultaneously contributing to the growth of the real estate industry. Sir, it is truly an honor to have you here with us today.
Pleasure is mine.
So, shall we begin with our first segment?
Absolutely.
So, my first question to you would be, can you describe your journey and role in multiple companies like Oberoi Realty, State Bank of India, and others throughout the year in a nutshell?
Okay, so basically, as she introduced me, I am a chartered accountant. And these days, my dear friends, as you are aware, this LODR, SEBI rules and regulations require that each listed company should have independent directors. And, being a chartered accountant, that opens so many, opportunities of being a director. And therefore, from my journey as a chartered accountant, I got multiple opportunities, and Oberoi Realty happens to be one such opportunity where that being a listed company, I got a chance to be an independent director there, and I am also chairing the audit committee.
Right, sir. From starting as a chartered accountant to now becoming a director at the Oberoi Realty, what has been the most defining moment of your career? And what gravitated you towards the real estate sector?
Okay, so I am talking to all my student dear friends. The most important, for any student to pass the examination. So most important was for me passing the chartered accountancy examination. And after that, I think everything was so much smooth in terms of, opportunities and the success that came to my way. And definitely all these years, even though I did not appear for the examination as such, but I am always equipping myself with what is happening latest in terms of the finance and new learnings kind of thing. And therefore, so if I had to ask that most defining moment, it was passing the chartered accountancy.
So, as you mentioned, you have had roles in various companies and you wear many different hats in various sectors. So, how do you manage your responsibilities and the work-life balance?
Absolutely. So, first let us talk about how do I manage my, work.
Yeah.
Being a chartered accountant again, and that is the qualification which is bringing me opportunity of being an independent director. But it is not just ornamental positions of being a director. There is a lot of expectations from the independent director, especially when it comes to the audit committees and some of the other important committees where, large number of stakeholders, apart from the promoters, the people who invest their hard-earned money into those companies, a lot of expectations.
Right.
So therefore, one has to be very fully conscious about the role which you are playing in that particular company, and therefore understanding the company is very, very important. So when I take up any such assignment of being a director on multiple companies, I first understand that company, what is that into, what are the peer companies, what they are doing, and then try to, understand and balance myself. Coming back to the work-life balance, and that is very, very crucial. Even these days, I find lot of students, they are always under stress. Something or the other stress is there, but my dear friends, it is one life, it is your life. And therefore take anything, it's very cool and calm, and definitely a lot of success will come. When it comes to work-life balance, naturally everybody will have to put their best as far as working is there. But if you enjoy a little part of your life, I think automatically it will balance it out. So life is beautiful, enjoy it, and automatic work-life balance will happen.
So I think you've amazingly maintained your work-life balance. And for my next question is that as Oberoi Realty is in the real estate sector, and we know that sustainability is a very coming up trend. So how do real estate companies strike a balance between sustainability and profitability? And what steps is Oberoi Realty taking to implement
Yeah,
this?
very good question and very relevant in today's scenario, especially post pandemic. The entire world is now talking about the sustainability. We are talking about the what we are giving it to the next generation and to the planet Earth. That it is the collective responsibility of everybody, whether you are working, whether you are not working, whether you are student or whether you are doing something else also. So therefore, any companies now there is a little mandate also from SEBI side under Companies Act also, and there is a global requirement from if you being again commerce students, I will like to encourage you to read what is global fundings are available. And if your company is into green kind of thing, so called green environment and all those things, lot of companies that there are lot of international funds which they invest, and therefore it is very very important for every company to have this particular aspect in mind. At Oberoi Realty, there is a clear cut roadmap about achieving this sustainability. We have the roadmap how we are going to have it net zero in years to come. Again, our entire construction site and the before the board, the company management gives us the presentation which talks about what best practices we are encourage all of you not only to read on the, maybe if you don't have, if you are not shareholder, you can just google it, the company's websites, be it Oberoi Realty or any other realty, and you will find the annual reports over there. And my advice to all my dear friends would be go into the sustainability pages into that, and that is also one of the very good career for the students also.
Right, sir. Thank you so much about sharing what Oberoi Realty is doing, sir. My next question would be being in the real estate sector, market fluctuations can have a huge impact. So, can you share a time when you had to navigate through a major crisis and what steps did you take to ensure stability?
Post or during the pandemic, the COVID, that kind of thing, this sector particularly was hit very bad. But again, if you are in good player, if you are having a sustainable policies with you, I think in long terms you will always be winning. And this Oberoi Realty is one of the success stories that in spite of pandemic, again there was in the country so-called demonetization happen, because when it comes to real estate, people will always have a mind ki isme, some amount of cash and check will be there. But again, in our company we have the policy that we don't accept a single the cash component of it, and our promoter Mr. Oberoi himself is very very strict on those counts. So if you are a good player, definitely you will survive the market irrespective of this cyclical phase, and cyclical phase will always be there. Take the example of stock market. One day it goes 1000 points, another
Right.
day it come 500 again. So in life also everybody's graph is like that. But if you are on a company, if you are building a corporation, I think this will be the cyclical things and trends will always be there. But one has to prepare and move ahead.
My next question: in such an evolving industry, there must be new trends coming up every moment. What are some emerging trends that directors and boards need to be prepared for, and how do you plan to stay ahead of the curve?
So actually, what is happening now? It is no longer it is just house you are buying. Now there are so many extra facilities which are being offered by the builders and developers. So if you are building a actually very good complex, it must have the swimming pool, the gymnasium, and all those things. 20 years before, this was not the trend. We used to have one swimming pool of the, maybe especially the municipal swimming pool in the entire, say if we are
Yeah.
in Andheri, you will have one stadium where that swimming pool will be there. But now the gated community will always have this kind of thing. So as a overall realty and as the good companies, we also have, when we plan our projects, we definitely put how we can make the life better for the the purchaser or the customer, because they are putting their hard-earned money. And apart from
Right.
that's few thousand square feet, we also like to give them back in terms of the happiness. So now it is house plus happiness. And I think that is the philosophy where Oberoi also working, and we are building our complexes around that.
Up so directors and boards can prepare for any emerging more
Perspective
trends.
of the company or the sector, I think there is always global challenges, local challenges, and the industry specific challenges. So one has to being on the board, because again, you no matter whether you are independent director or promoter, but it is the board's responsibility to provide that entire overview to the operations of the company, be it in terms of the finance, right from budgeting to
Right.
execution, be in terms of best practices in terms of accounting, so good internal audits, good statutory audits, and also the compliance of various laws. So board has very big responsibility in terms of providing the operational framework and guidance to the company overall, and therefore it is very very important that we must seize the opportunities, and we are must be ready to face any challenges. So one has to keep the global eye, local eye, and the industry eye into whatever sector you operate in.
Sir, talking about technology, as we know, technology is now influencing every field. So, how do you feel it's influencing the board, the directors, and chartered accountants in particular?
Technology is now one thing, irrespective of the profession, it is touching you and me everywhere. So now, today also, when we are recording this kind of podcast in a very, nice manner, earlier days we will not have this kind of thing. Secondly, now whatever we are recording here, instantly it can go viral also. So technology is very helpful, not only in terms of doing that particular job, but also so called expanding in terms of marketing, social media, and all those things. Technology is behind
Right.
working behind it. So technology has got tremendous this thing. My again advice, even if you are a commerce students or any field student, you must have good understanding of technology. I'm not asking you to be doing the coding
Coding.
etc., but at least what is the trend, what is running. We all use Insta, we all use the Facebook, but our mind is only there, and somebody who is operating that Insta, and he becomes the billionaire and trillionaire.
Yeah.
So my advice to you, what could be the trend, how we can hit using the technology. If students can pick up that particular thing, take one example of Zerodha. Okay, earlier if you want to do share trading etc., you will go to the broker, open the
Yeah.
account, every morning you will request them कि boss मेरा ये खरीदना है वो खरीदना है kind of thing,
Right.
whatever transactions you want to do.
Yes, sir.
Now there are technological companies like
Right.
Zerodha, sitting at your home, just
You
on the
can.
click of button you can do internet banking. Now we do all these the online payments etc. You go to the shop, even that nariyal pani wala accept that particular thing. But my again, being a student, you should understand what is happening, and that is going to be a very good career move whatever you do.
Right, sir. Thank you so much for sharing those insights, sir. My next question would be, as you have dual expertise in both real estate and banking, how do you see the two sectors influencing each other in India's growing economy?
Wow, this is very very important, because I also sit on the board of the State Bank of India, which is the one of the not one of
Right.
the largest bank of the country, and one of the very big bank as far as the global thing is there. Everything what we do in the State Bank has implication in
Right.
every sector. Now coming back to the specific of real estate sector and the banking. So even if the real estate sector, even if the builder wants to construct something, or it's not only about residential complex, it's not only about commercial complex, but suppose if you want to do the warehousing and large scale of infra projects, the funding will come, big funding will come
Right.
from the banks. So that is one starting point. Secondly, when it comes to individual, so you are not a builder, you are not a banker, but you are a home buyer. Still you will be dealing with a real
Right.
estate company, you will be dealing with a bank, and I think that bridging happens as far as financing is there. So banks do play important role in terms of providing that adequate capital to the real estate sector by providing not only the construction loan, but also the
Right.
housing loans, the commercial loans. And there are concepts like, suppose if you have built one big mall, and based on your lease rentals etc., that also discounting you can do with the banks. So there are so many financial products in and around of the construction sector, which is really important, and I think that is where both the sectors are
Right.
also growing. because if by financing, if that real estate sector is going, but by that finance book itself, now being in the State Bank, we have the a huge
Right.
multiple lakhs crore of
Yes.
rupee housing loan. So that also is our capital in terms of raw material, in terms of our businesses as far as bank is concerned.
Right, sir. So, my next question is, how do you foster a culture of motivation and collaboration within your team at
Okay,
Oberoi Realty?
so that is very very most important and very very so we have the strategy meet, we have the board meets where presentations are being made. We do call the various vertical heads, including HR heads, how they are doing, what is their calendar in terms of motivating the entire workforce. Because again, not only in Oberoi Realty, but every organizations will have their own set of the employees and also the business into which they operate. So even employees, they she must be
Right.
even receptionist, but she must understand real estate sector little bit, so that when somebody walks in,
Yes.
she's in a better position to talk about that particular, yes, we are doing this project, that project. Because
Right.
every person is your brand ambassador, so we must work on that, every person of the organization. So at Oberoi Realty also we have the lot of training which is happening right from the board level to the the most lower level of so called into entire
So, sir,
organization.
as you mentioned that the strategies come up from the board level, and there are any strategies that you employ to keep your team members engaged and driven?
Lot There are lot of the strategies. As I said, first you have to understand that particular industry, that particular company where you are operating, and then every director brings their lot of wisdom to the board in terms of what is happening globally, locally, in terms of regulatory expectations, in terms of the opportunities, in terms of what could be the growth. So one side is the compliance or the rules and regulation, but other side is the marketing and the growth. So if you see the composition of board of directors of very good companies, you will find people not only from from the finance background, but they will also find from marketing or the expertise having the other kind of industries kind of thing. So at board level, we do match each and everything. There is an open discussion. So apart from formal discussions, and again I can share my this thing with all my dear friends, that when you sit, when you will get an opportunity, or whenever you do something, there has to be something like a formal communication and informal communication, because so many things can come out in informal communications which are helpful for taking a good formal decision. So we do have proper formal and informal channels which are always on, and we keep them always at the top, so that good decisions for the companies and for our customers and for our stakeholders that come
Right.
out.
I think that's great, sir, all the strategies that you implement. My next question would be that as we talked about each industry influencing the other one, so now involvement in taxation and financial matters, what key financial planning advice do you believe professionals in the modern economy should focus on?
Absolutely. In modern economies, now the world is one. When we are also talking about, having 5 trillion economy, the capital will not be from India. There will be lot of foreign capital which will be coming to India. And I think that is a great opportunity for the commerce students in terms of understanding the global trade and global finances. And, a lot of foreign funds, the PE funds, right from startup, we talk about so many, startup is one of the now glamorous sector, so called.
Yeah.
I want to do startup and somebody is investing X amount into my startup. So right from startup to the bigger companies, even the PE funds and all those things, the amount which they invest is huge.
Right.
And sometimes back when we were talking about that green kind of thing,
Yes.
there are dedicated international funds which only invest into the green projects. So going forward, I think a great understanding of global best practices and Indian best practices. As a country, we have so many international tax treaties also.
Right.
So being a commerce student, if we understand those tax treaties, etc., that will be great help.
Right, sir. My last question for this segment would be any one piece of advice that you would give students looking to enter into the real estate industry, whether as financial analysts, developers, or in other roles?
First will be like a entrepreneurs. Why you can't become, the next, the Oberoi or the Loda and all those things. So starting from there, of course, there are so many, opportunities, especially for the finance, students. As I said, we need the consultants, we need the finance people, because every penny is important in the business. And being if you are a good accountant, or if you got good finance background, you can always help company to save those kind of,
Right, sir.
cost. So a lot
Yes,
of
sir.
opportunities.
Thank you so much. With this, we wrap up our first segment. I'm certain our listeners have gained a wealth of knowledge from your valuable insights. Now, to switch things up a bit, we'll move into a more light-hearted segment, which is known as the rapid fire round. I'll ask you a series of quick questions, and we're excited to hear your sharp and spontaneous responses. Shall I begin, sir?
Okay.
My first question would be one word that describes your leadership style.
I'm very informal.
What's more important, innovation or experience?
Experience.
Any particular reason?
Because I enjoy whatever my success is because of experience.
Right, sir. If not chartered accountant, what profession would you have chosen?
MBA.
Your favorite city for real estate growth?
Mumbai.
Are you partial towards Mumbai because or any other?
Never.
If you could live in any decade, past or future, which one would it be?
Present.
Okay, sir. If you could swap lives with anyone for a day, who would it be?
So you should provide better options rather than swapping my life. There should be better swaps. So maybe, a prime minister of a country.
Very great, sir. After that lively round, sir, it's time to hand over the mic to our audience. So, in our
Ethics.
next segment, CIC wants to know, we'll cover questions that our audience is eager to get answered. So, my first question will be, how do you define success in the corporate world today?
Put your best, be focused, and I think success will come.
My next question is, how would you explain your job to a child in a way they could understand?
Be a leader. अच्छा
Right.
करते रहो रोज. Even being a child, अच्छा करो. And I think that is the quality of a director.
Right, sir. How do you mentor and inspire the next generation of leaders within your organization?
With my informal talks with them, with having tea together, coffee together.
Thank you, sir. My next question is, how do you align your personal values with the goals and cultures of the company?
As I said sometime before, ethics is most important. Ethics, trust, confidentiality. I think they are great personal values, and they are great corporate values.
And I think, sir, you also promote professional ethics within the accounting profession as well.
Absolutely.
My last question would be, how do you balance staying connected with colleagues and while also enjoying your own time?
So, there are a lot of things. WhatsApp is one great thing to get connected with all my colleagues. So, that is one. And what is the other part?
How do you stay connected while also enjoying alone time?
So again, friends and the colleagues and your, entire staff or friends, they bring lot of, knowledge to you. So when you are connected on the social media, I think lot of things happen. So it is good time pass also, but good learning time also. It all depends what mode you are into. So when I am
Right.
doing something, say for 10 minutes chat kind of thing, 5 minutes will be personal, 5 minutes will be अरे अब क्या करना चाहिए, क्या growth है, क्या challenges है. So formal, informal can make you very good person.
Thank you, sir. We will crank up the creativity and dive into the emoji round. So in this, I'll be making a few statements or asking questions, and this time instead of words, you'll have to reply with emojis. So we have 5 emojis here. First is the happy emoji. Then we have the shocked emoji. Then we have the angry emoji. This is the no comments emoji. And lastly, we have the face palm. So,
So I'll keep the happy on the top.
yes. Your reaction when there's a last minute change on the day of a major deadline. A face palm emoji, sir. How do you feel about the rise of tech-driven innovations such as AI and blockchain in property transactions and real estate investment?
I'm
Happy.
happy.
Your reaction to the skyrocketing demand for luxury real estate in Gurgaon and Mumbai? Happy.
Very happy.
Your reaction to the record-breaking sales of premium real estate projects like DLF Privana South selling out in 72 hours?
Why I'm sitting on the board of the Oberoi Realty. Why you are asking me the question of DLF? We have one project in Worli
Okay.
that is 365, and each flat is selling more than 100 crores, and that is also not easy to grab.
Right.
Because we do select, the management do select, and then only they sell. So I am very, very happy.
Right, sir. Your reaction to the government's push for affordable housing projects despite the booming luxury market?
I think you are giving me all happy.
When an urgent email arrives as you're just logging off for the day? Face palm. Realizing you left your laptop at home right before an important meeting? Angry. That was fantastic, sir. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for this
Thank you.
round and answers. So now, with that being said, we'll transition into the last section of our podcast, which is called Beyond the Boardroom. So in this, we'll ask questions to get to know more about you as a person, apart from your profession. Who has been your greatest inspiration in life, both professionally
So
and personally?
professionally, my boss, where I did my chartered accountancy, Mr. Bansi Mehta, and personally,
Right.
I think Mr. Narendra Modi.
Okay. How do you like to celebrate your success?
Just be with my team members.
Celebrate with them.
Yeah, celebrate with my team.
What's one thing on your personal bucket list that you hope to accomplish in the next few years?
There are a lot.
Any few, sir.
Maybe, being the citizen of this particular country, and I think together, not only me, but we all must contribute in the more meaningful manner to our society.
Right, sir.
That is one expectations I have about me.
If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Work hard, work smart, and party a lot.
Do you believe in luck or do you think we create our own opportunities?
Both are true.
Any one that you think has been true for you?
I think we create our own opportunities.
How do you stay grounded even when things get overwhelming?
They always say, na, kya laye the, kya leke jaओगे. So there is absolutely nothing which you can take with you. It is only, you have to be in the, heart of other people, and therefore
Right.
it will happen only if you are grounded. So always try to be grounded so that people should remember you always.
Yes, sir. But if you're in an overwhelming situation, how do you stay grounded and you keep yourself calm and go?
Always look for the more successful person.
Right.
Then you will find you are at zero.
My last question would be, is there a book or a movie that has influenced you deeply?
There is one autobiography of Mr. Walchand Hirachan.
Okay.
I think he started his entrepreneurial journey way back when English was ship industry, that is Scindian steam navy steam. Then he built the first aeroplane, that is the Ozer factory was built by him. He built the first sugar factory, Rawalgaon sugar factory, and I think he has so many first to his credit, and that too when English days were there, and that is the great piece of autobiography I read about Seth Walchand Hirachan.
Thank you, sir. Now, to flip this script, could you share a thought-provoking question for our audience to answer in the comment section on social media?
Okay, how you celebrate your life?
I think that's a great question, sir. This marks the conclusion of today's podcast episode. I want to express my appreciation for your feedback and responses throughout the segments. I can confidently say that the conversation has expanded the perspectives of our audience in the sectors of real estate and finance, as well as your leadership roles in multiple companies. Hosting you on Business Edge 5.0 has truly been a great experience, sir.
Thank you. It was, as I said in the beginning, since beginning I am enjoying this being here, being with the youth of the country and youth of the, the finance next generation brand ambassadors. So great to be with all of you, and especially special thanks to you for hosting me and not throwing very difficult questions at me.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Thanks.